Welcome to the channel. My friend, I really believe that one of the best things in life is learning. Today, I read a really interesting story, and I would love to share it with you. Let's get started. Story. Some mistakes are just too big to fix, but we can forgive them. After 20 years of caring for my paralyzed husband, I never imagined that my own child would be the one to keep the secret about his father, which broke my heart. I was shocked. We had been together for over 40 years, and I still didn't know. I never thought my life would be so quiet, especially after he got sick. When he was 52, my husband had a mild stroke. It got worse over time. After that, I was not a wife anymore. I was a nurse, a cook, a driver and a carer. At first, I felt lucky that he was still alive, that he still knew me, and that he held my hand at night when he couldn't sleep. But 5 years, 10 years, then 20 years passed. Every time I washed his blood-stained underwear, every time I changed his nappies in the cold, every time I looked into the empty eyes of the man who once made me laugh, I didn't say anything, but I did sigh. I don't blame him for anything. I think, maybe this is what we owe to each other. Why? The truth about funeral wreaths. He died on a cold winter night. My husband died peacefully after 20 years of suffering from a weak body. We had a small funeral. People who knew the deceased came to say goodbye. I thought everything was over until a strange woman and a young man appeared. They were dressed in black and looked serious as they asked to come in and light incense for my husband. The woman's face had no expression, while the young man tried to hide his tears. None of them were people I knew, but my eldest son hurriedly invited him inside, so that other people wouldn't see. Mother, please forgive Father. It was a mistake he made when he was young. He is the only one at fault. She and the young man are not to blame. Please forgive them, Mother, my son said, urging me to forgive them even though I had no idea what was going on. It felt like everything was falling apart. I was shaking and couldn't stand up straight. Later, when everyone had gone home, I sat quietly and listened to my son tell me, Dad had another woman before he married you. They broke up, and she went back to her hometown and stopped talking to him. But then one day, when Dad was delivering goods, they met secretly. When they woke up, they agreed that it had been a drunken mistake and that they wouldn't get involved in each other's lives. They didn't know she was pregnant. She came to our house to meet Dad. But then she saw that Mom was also pregnant with NA. So she chose to keep it a secret. Years passed, and the boy was in an accident. He needed a rare blood type, and that's when Dad had to save him. I only found out by chance that year. Dad cried and said sorry to me, because he wanted to take responsibility for her and her child. I felt very emotional. We had been together for over 40 years, and I had no idea. What was even worse was that my own children knew, but didn't tell anyone. It wasn't because they were defending their father, but because they loved their mother. They knew that if I found out the truth, I wouldn't be able to live through those 20 dark years. The softness that comes after a storm. I didn't forgive him straight away. It wasn't because I hated him, but because I felt let down by my husband and children. But then I looked at the altar where my husband was lying. I remembered his eyes, which probably showed regret right up to the end. He never said sorry in his life. A week after the funeral, my family had got used to the new situation. The children and grandchildren got together for a meal to celebrate their father. The eldest son surprised me by giving me a savings book with 500 million in it. He said, "This is for when you get old. From now on, live for yourself. You've worked so hard your whole life for your husband and us." The youngest son and his son-in-law said, "Next month, our family is going on a business trip to Australia. Let him sort out the trip for all of us." Mother. I no longer felt angry. I cried because I was in love. I realized that when someone dies, all that's left are memories and the choices we make about forgiveness. It might seem strange, but even though the person has just died, the house is full of laughter and everyone is excited about the future. But only people who have experienced all the emotions, like joy, anger, love and hate, can understand this. Forgiving others sets you free. A message from the heart. Some mistakes are unavoidable, but we can forgive them. There are secrets that don't need forgiveness, but you need to let them go. Hatred doesn't solve anything. Only love can heal oneself. If you have ever felt betrayed, remember, people may hide things from you, but you have loved him truly.